Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming at you again with another vid. Well, Kubrat Pulev defeated Dereck Chisora in a split decision. Wow. Okay. So, the ringside judges had this following score. One judge scored it 118 to 110. The other judge scored it 118 to 110 for Pulev. One other judge scored it 115, 113 for Chisora. And the other judge scored 116, 112 for Kubrat Pulev. Now, if you ask me, the 118 and 110 score is very, very accurate. And that's the same score I gave in this fight for Pulev because Dereck Chisora tonight showed that he was clearly the most faded fighter. He's very faded, and I don't think he has much left in his career after this performance. Not saying that he didn't try. He was brave. He was bold in there against Pulev, but clearly he looked very slow in there. He looked very sluggish. He couldn't get anything going. He was winging shots left to right out of desperation because Pulev was the tactician in there. And as I predicted in my one of my previous videos leading up to this fight, that Pulev is definitely a very more skillful fighter. He's a better boxer, and he has credible hand speed with that jab and reach. So I mean, he was hitting Chisora with one twos, digging to the body, creating his distance, and even was even the ring general in there tonight against Chisora, even backing him up. So clearly, the hand speed, the reach, and the precise punching coordination of Kubrat Pulev was really, really the X factor in bothering Dereck Chisora tonight in the ring. And Chisora, to his credit, had a little bit of success in the 6th and 10th round when he was, to apply a little more pressure on Pulev. He hit Pulev with a couple good right shots to negate the jab, but he did show some success trying to negate Pulev's jab by slipping underneath it, showing some better head movement in some rounds. But clearly the hand speed by Pulev was just unbelievable. It was on point. It was on the mark. And Chisora didn't have the answer for it. Now, I have to say one thing. That 115-113 score was a travesty. That was atrocious. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Dereck Chisora. And I hope that he was able to win this fight. But apparently, the better man was Kubrat Pulev. And he was he was a master tactician tonight. He displayed excellent boxing skills. And his hand speed as a heavyweight is unbelievable, okay? Now, his hand speed could be equated up to Joseph Parker's hand speed, but I think Joseph Parker's hand speed is much more better, and Parker has more power than Pulev. So, yeah. And also, another thing I have to state is that also in one of my initial videos, I stated that Chisora knew that the only way he could win this fight was to get under Pulev's skin psychologically, try to get a psychological advantage over him because he knew going to this fight that he was going to be outclassed, he was going to be outskilled, and he didn't have the skill set to beat Pulev in a boxing match. So he had to get into his head and throw off his game and throw off his timing psychologically, and clearly that didn't work. Pulev was very poised, he was gamed, he was ready to go, and he executed his game plan perfectly, I should say, beyond perfection, I should say. And so I know that Kubrat Pulev, after the Vladimir Klitschko loss, he had a couple fights where he was trying to find his timing and his rhythm when he switched trainers. And given in this fight, it seems like he's able to find his rhythm. He's able to regain some of his composure and confidence. Because I know after taking that defeat by Klitschko and getting steamrolled, I'm sure that took, a lot of confidence out of him. Some would argue that Kubrat Pulev was pretty much done after the Klitschko fight. And after the fact that he had a couple of fights before the Chisora fight, he didn't look quite as impressive. I think he had one fight after the Klitschko fight, but I think it was two. But I believe it was two, but, he didn't look quite impressive in those two fights after the Klitschko defeat. But he definitely looked great tonight. He is definitely back in title contention, if you ask me. So this win does put him in the, move him higher in the rankings in the IBF. So that will give him inches closer to possibly getting a title shot with Anthony Joshua. But if you ask me, I think with this win, Pulev will be more in line to getting a shot at Joseph Parker if he gets past Carlos Takam. So this is definitely interesting. So if Parker does get past Takum, I believe that Parker and Pulev should fight. I think that'd be the next fight made before Parker goes into his fight with Anthony Joshua next year, if Joshua manages to hold on his title for that long. So definitely interesting times coming from the heavyweight scene. This fight tonight was a very good fight, even though it was Pulev clearly dominated. But then again, there was a lot of there was plenty of moments in there. So it wasn't a boring fight. It was a masterful performance by Pulev. Though he was trying to go for a knockout, but mind you, Dereck Chisora does have great punch resistance. So knocking him out was not going to be a guarantee. So now where does Dereck Chisora go from here? If you ask me, I think he's he's past it now. He's clearly the faded fighter, and I think the extra weight that he put on, I think he put on 10 extra pounds from his normal fighting weight, really took a toll on his foot speed and his hand speed and his agility as well. So does this mean that I think he should retire? Again, I like Chisora, but I have to say that I don't think he has what it takes anymore. I think he should just hang it up. But then again, if you think I'm wrong, let me know what you think about it. Do you think Chisora has something left in his career? Do you think where do you think he should go from here? Drop a comment below. Or better yet, what do you think Kubrat Pulev goes from here? What do you think he should fight next? Should he fight Joseph Parker? Should he fight the other IBF contenders in here like Jarrell Big Baby Miller? Now, that's a fight I would like to see, Big Baby Miller versus Kubrat Pulev. There's a lot of good fights that could be made in the IBF rankings. And I know I've criticized the IBF to a certain extent, but they do have some good top heavyweights in there that a lot of fights could be made. Yeah, Kubrat Pulev could fight Eric Molina or Yohan Duhapis. But I think Duhapis already fought Pulev. I think he did, but I have to check and see. But if not, if they did, so be it. I think a rematch should be in order. But drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Care to comment, share, subscribe. Sign it off. Peace.